Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And for those of you that don't know who we are, Ron and I are the co-founders of the Ridge Project and the co-creators of TYRO.
You know, TYRO is a curriculum that we created out of our own personal experience and journey.
All right, say it again. What kind of experience?
Personal.
Personal.
You know, this is not coming out of an incubator. What we experienced came from our own life journey. And out of that experience, we created what is called TYRO. TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior. And in a nutshell, it's a powerful, powerful life transformational professional development curriculum.
Right, and so we have created TYRO Dads. And TYRO Dads is designed to help you as incarcerated fathers to connect with your family, to build a legacy, and not just a legacy for you, but a legacy for your children's children's children, right? To change what you're doing in the world and to change it for generations to come.
You know, we teach practice makes permanent. You know, the things that we were practicing prior to incarceration became a lifestyle, became something permanent in our life, or we would not have ended up incarcerated. Right? So now that we've been set free, now that you're awake, and now that you understand certain principles in your life, our job is to help you turn them on, right? Ignite them where you can be not only a productive citizen, but an entrepreneur, self-motivated, a powerful father, a powerful husband, to where people will look at you and not even remember or see your past, but see the man that you are today.
Right, that's right. So all of the principles that we teach you are things we learned through our own journey, that 15 years where Ron was in prison and the kids and I were outside. And so we packaged those into the TYRO program, which is a power-packed program. And now on TYRO TV, our desire is to provide you with information that you can use right now that can help you to impart positive attributes and characteristics and information into your children's lives.
And today, we want to talk about something that's sensitive, something that needs to be talked about, something that's hard.
Something that's pretty serious.
Right, real serious, because dads, listen to me. You are ready to face a world that is changing every second of every day. When you came in, when you went into the system, when you come back out, it is not the same place from when you left.
Right.
And if you're not ready, if you're not equipped to handle what's coming at you, you will be draped off or sucked back into the old lifestyle that you had prior to being incarcerated.
You need to understand what the challenges are that are facing your children right now so that you can begin to help them even now and then be even more prepared as you transition back out and into their lives. Because you'll be a powerful force in their lives right now from even behind bars. So today we're going to be talking about pornography and its effects on children. We're going to be talking about sexting. We're going to talk about all of the things that are infecting our children and what you can do about it right now. So,
as a father, and really at the end of the whole thing, empower you to be able to say no yourself, because you got to be an example of what it means to be a man of honor, a man of good character, a man worth following, Dad.
So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions. To own it, you'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
And today we're talking about a very serious subject, better known as pornography.
Right. And particularly how pornography is affecting your kids. This is really, really important, Dad. Really important, because it is more rampant than ever before. Kids are being inundated with messages and with images that they're not even seeking out. And it's important that you know what's happening so that you can broach the topic with them and make it make it more comfortable for them to come to you and say, hey, you know what? This is what's happening. Can you help me? And so there are two main things we really want to talk about. So when we say, okay, what are the two main topics of this show? One is pornography and the exposure that youth are having to pornography. And two, sexting. What is sexting and what is happening with sexting in today's society among young people? When we talk about young people, we're talking about the ages of 11 to 17.
So let's take it back to the penitentiary. Listen, I don't know what it looks like today. I don't know if they allow I have a thing. I asked grown men inside the penitentiaries when I'm speaking. I asked them, how many of you play with paper dolls? And they all look at each other back and forth, and they're like, none of us play with paper dolls. Well, how many of you got Playboy? How many of you got Hustler? How many got Penthouse? Right? And then they all start to giggle and laugh, and then the hands start to come up. I said, well, guess what, Dad? You're a grown man playing with what? Paper dolls, because they're not real. In fact, some guys will laminate them and all that type of stuff, and then they do what they do. But listen, that is pornography. And if that's what you're feeding yourself in, you can't get mad when your children are doing what you're doing, Dad. Listen, they're watching you and they're learning from you, and they want to learn from you.
And pornography is causing a disconnect in our children and in our adults from forming real relationships. And the truth is, we all desire to have a real relationship with a real person and connect in an intimate, emotional way. But pornography will stand in the way of that. This isn't the lifestyle you want for you, and it's certainly not the lifestyle you want for your children. It's robbing our children of their innocence. It's affecting and infecting and creating anxiety, creating antisocial behaviors and attitudes, creating lowering of grades, a lower self-esteem, all kinds of negative effects. And so you need to be aware of how prevalent it is. I know,
Well,
Ron.
not only that, I mean, we're talking about depression,
Right, yes.
anxiety, the
Right.
stress. In today's market, how they expect us to look, and dress a certain way. So what I want to do is here on my mobile digital engagement tool.
With access to the whole wide
Right.
world and internet.
That's right. Remember in the last episode, we showed this little black box is smarter than me.
I think
Right?
every episode we know that
Oh.
that little black box is smarter than us.
That's right. So check this out. So what we did was we pulled up some stats.
So where are these from? Let's make sure that they know where they're from.
Well, this particular site is called teenhelp.com.
Right.
Right?
And so what they did is they gathered a bunch of statistics from like CDC, from NIH, from teenpregnancy.com. And so they list them all there, so it's all kind of in one place. So it's a great site, great resource for you and the caregiver of your kids.
So the first one here is teen pornography statistics, right? So 25% of youth had unwanted exposure to porn in the past year. That's a lot of,
So what?
right?
That is from no specific year. Okay.
Yeah, 2000 and, is that right there, 1999?
So they did what this site did is it broke it down from the year 2000 to 2010, and so we're in 2016, or we're in 2018 now. Sorry, I think it goes up to 2016. So you can imagine that all of the increases, we are still seeing this continual increase in exposure to teen pornography. Teens exposed to
So now
pornography.
these numbers aren't even true today. They're actually less. Now watch this.
Actually more now.
More have been exposed. So in this time, 1 in 33 youth reported an aggressive solicitation where they were asked to meet, talk on the phone, or were sent correspondence through USPS. Right?
United States Postal Service.
Yeah. That's what it stands for.
Right. So 1 in 33 youth said that they were aggressively contacted by somebody that wanted to connect with them and meet with them. But 1 in 5 youth reported receiving a sexual approach or solicitation in the past year. 1 in 5, that's a lot.
So the point of all these stats is I want to show you that they're keeping stats. These are real. These are not fake numbers. This isn't fake news. Right. This is real life drama happening today, dads.
And these are a couple more really important stats. So I know probably you're like, okay, stats, but these are important. Write these down. Only 17% of youth could name an authority to which they could report an internet crime. Only 17%. And here's an even worse statistic. Only 11% of parents knew how to report an internet crime. Only 11%. Okay, so 25% report unwanted exposure to sexual images on the internet in the previous 12 months. 8% reported visiting an X-rated website on purpose in the past 12 months. Now, this was from the year 2000. Now, let's skip forward. So in the year 2005, 42% of youth, see how it went up from 25% to 42% of youth reported
In
exposure
5 years.
in 5 years, exposure to online pornography. Now let's skip ahead. In 2010, 93% of males reported being exposed to porn on the internet before they were 18. 93%, 62% of females reported online exposure to porn prior to the age of 18, and this is unsolicited.
So what I want to say is, before we wrap up this segment here, is listen, there are side effects to this type of behavior. There are side effects to when
this
you
exposure.
to this
They're not even
exposure.
doing it on purpose.
There are side effects that you don't want in your life. If you really want to become successful, if you really want to transition from the environment you're in now to become a healthy citizen and a healthy father, right?
Right. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the effects, the infects that this is having on your kids. I mean, think about that. 90+% and 60+%, 90+% of males and 60% of females are being exposed to porn on the internet unsolicited. Okay, so when we come back, we're going to talk more about this and what you can do. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina.
And today we're talking about a subject that's heavy, touchy, it's sensitive, but it needs to be talked about. You know, we're not gonna just have an elephant in the room and not talk about it.
Your children are most likely being exposed to porn. If they're on the internet, if they're in public school, then that means that they have seen or heard about something to do with porn. And it's important that you know that and understand that, so that you can help your child navigate in a healthy way to understand the bad effects of pornography, why they should avoid it, why it's dangerous, and why and what they need to do in order to develop healthy, strong, appropriate relationships with real people.
So listen up, dads, check this out. So you're already in an environment that's unnatural, right? And so you want to become healthy in that environment that you're in, right? So you got to make sure that you're monitoring what you're being exposed to in there. So as you're monitoring what you're being exposed to in there and you're conscious of it, right? How are you going to take those principles that you're learning and then instill them into your children so that they too can practice that type of discipline, right? Because right now you're being forced, if you will, to practice abstinence, right? And so you're not even conscious that, hey, you know you're not having sex, right? You know
I
that
hope
much,
you know that.
but you don't know the power of maintaining that type of abstinence and self-control instead of fighting it. Or they're making me, you know what, right? I'm not married to her, but when I get out, I'm gonna have sex with her. Or you know what, I don't care if she's my wife or not. It don't even matter who I'm gonna sleep with. If you're thinking like that, dad, right? Come on now, embrace the lesson that you're learning in there, which is abstinence. You embrace that, you're gonna have so much strength when you come out, dad, and you're gonna be inundated with what's happening here, right? Because your children are being inundated. You're gonna be able to overcome it and be able to help your children overcome what they're gonna be inundated with.
So as you develop self-control and self-regulation, then you can then impart those same skills to your kids, and you must. You've got to have the conversation with your kids. We just read that very disturbing statistic. Ron, can I use your phone?
Yep.
And I'm gonna read it again because it was like, holy smokes.
She doesn't have to ask to use my phone. It's an open book.
Yep, 93%, say that, 93% of males reported to being exposed to porn on the internet prior to the age of 18, 93%. 62% of females reported online exposure to porn prior to the age of 18. The average age of the first exposure was 14 for males and 15 for females. 42% of the females report that all exposure that they ever had with pornography was involuntary. And so the thing is that the internet, the people know when there's a marketing. And so that these things are flashing up. So it might be involuntary the first time, but then normal curiosity in males and females, and a lot in males because males are more visual, that normal curiosity might cause them to click further into it. And so you need to have the conversation because you need them to understand the importance of respecting the other people, respecting themselves, the importance of wanting to develop healthy relationships. And pornography will block them from being able to do that. It's vitally important that you have the conversation about whether or not your kids have been exposed to pornography, what their reaction was, and help them put that in the right healthy place of, you know what, this is something that's out there, and it is not a healthy way to view males or females. It's not healthy for you in your emotional and social and mental growth. It's not healthy for you in your relational growth and in developing long-lasting healthy relationships. And so it's really important that you understand it's out there, but then put things into practice to avoid it.
And to teach abstinence from this stuff, right, dads? This is your job as a father, is to raise up your children to become men and women of honor, men of good character, women of virtue, right? And to have that tenacity and that grit to look away, to walk away from it. And fathers, we can't say it enough. That's your role. That's what you bring to the table. You can help empower your children that they don't even have to go that path. They don't have to go that route. But let's talk about something real quick. What if they were exposed to it, and they're too young to really understand? Maybe they're 16. Now remember, guys.
Or 14.
Or 14.
It was 14 and 15.
Let's go
That's the
14 and
average
15.
age.
And so they get exposed to it. Can they really contemplate or digest process it in a healthy way?
Right. And so I'm going to talk about it from a girl's perspective because dads, your daughters, it's really, really important that you set the right standard for them because your girls are being inundated with messages that say you have to look this way, you have to be this way, you have to do these things in order to be important or valued by the opposite sex. When you value and make sure your daughter knows just in and of herself for being who she is valuable, she is worthy, that she's deserving of respect and honor and not disrespect. And that anytime anybody expects her to look a certain way or to take her clothes off for them, that they are dishonoring her, disrespecting her, and that she should walk away from anybody like that. If she is seeing porn, the message she's getting is, I should look like this, I should act like this is what's valuable, this is what's important, and this is how I'm going to get somebody to care about me. And so if you don't interrupt and disrupt that, she is going to be headed off into really unhealthy relationships, and she's going to be headed off a cliff away from her goals and her fullest potential. And dad, it's your job to make sure that she's redirected and that she stays on that path of knowing that she is an incredibly valuable, beautiful, worthy young woman.
You know what? Time's almost up here for this segment. So what I want to do is wrap this one up. And then when we come back, we're going to give you some tips on how to empower not only yourself, but to empower your children. Okay, this is really important. To have complete success in your life, healthy success, healthy relationships, you got to have this under your feet. You got to be able to just say no and walk away from this.
And you've got to be able to parent with purpose. So stay tuned. When we come back, we'll talk about boys' perspective and also talk about that other thing we mentioned, sexting. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO. a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina.
And today we're talking about a very difficult subject that needs to be addressed and needs to be tackled.
Right. And so we hope that you're getting informed, you're getting the information you need to help you direct your children in the right way, and also to put up boundaries in your own life so that you are not trapped by this thing called pornography.
So the last segment, Cathy talked about what between a girl and
right, like what is happening with girls when they see pornography. What is happening with them?
And so what I want to talk about is a little bit.
They're getting.
Yeah, that's it. What happens between a young man and pornography? You know, and I know in America or maybe in other countries, and even in America, you know, we talk about machismo, right? Come on, dads, you're gonna take your son and you're gonna take him to a strip club and you're gonna give him this type of perverted rites of passage and bring him into manhood. Well, let me tell you, that's what ends up people in poverty, incarceration, divorce, brokenness, alcoholism. Those things lead to that lifestyle, right? Because they're unhealthy and they're thwarted and they're unbalanced and they're broken. Right? But we're talking about when a young man is exposed at such an early age to pornography, what happens in his thinking? Because what he sees is what he believes, right? And if he's not exposed in a healthy manner of what's good and what's not good, or what's healthy and what's sick, right? Listen, he will fall into the trap that many before him have fallen into. And they will be perverted and they will be divorced and they will be broken.
Right, because it creates in young men a disconnect between sex and love. And so that means that he can involve and engage in sexual acts with people he does not care about. And that's not true, because we might think that and we might say, well, put up all these boundaries. But what happens is now he has this difficulty in forming real relationships and actually talking to people and building out a relationship so that he can pursue a lifelong committed relationship, have children, and build a healthy family.
So come on, fathers. I'm talking to you guys. We're tyros, right? And let's be real. Examine yourself. Where are you at in your life? How many mothers do you have children with, right? How many kids do you have with different mothers? Come on, because this is dysfunction. This is where your definition of sex and love have been warped, right? You thought there was no consequences. That you could do these things.
That you can disconnect the two. Yep. That having no feelings, it produces an outcome you don't want produced. It is not creating a positive future, and it's making you more susceptible to doing more self-harm because it's locking you down emotionally, mentally, and then causing you to care less about other risk-taking behaviors.
And so what happens is you begin to objectify the women in your life.
And other people.
Right, and so then if your sons are doing that, they're gonna objectify and other people, and there will be no sense of caring, no sense of love in any of their relationships.
So just like with your daughter, you've got to interrupt and disrupt that. You've got to have the conversation with your sons and ask them, have you been exposed to pornography? Have you seen porn? What do you think about that? Now, this is why it's wrong. This is why you need to avoid it. Because then all these other things happen. It can lead you down this total path of a way you do not want to go. So I want to talk, we promised that we would talk a little bit about sexting. So I want to give you some statistics about sexting, and write this down so that your caregiver can look this up too. So this is called guardchild.com.
The caregiver of your children.
Right, that's right, your caregiver. I meant the caregiver of your children. This is really important. You need to be having this conversation with your kids as well. What do you know about sexting? Who do you know that's doing it? Have you ever done it? Those are the 3 important questions you need to ask.
Ask again, you're a little fast on that.
Okay, what do you know about sexting? Who do you know that's done it? And have you ever done it? Those are the 3 important questions you need to ask. Now, this comes off of guardchild.com. And again, they compile a bunch of statistics from other research firms and they put them all in one place. Great site, guardchild.com. So teenage sexting statistics, all right? So this is from the National Campaign to Prevent Teen Pregnancy, the Pew Institute, the American Life Project, Cox Communication, Teen Online, Wireless Safety Survey, okay, from a whole bunch of stuff. 20% of teens overall who have sent or posted nude or semi-nude photos or videos of themselves. 20%. 22% of teen girls, 18% of teen boys, 11% of young teen girls between the ages of 13 and 16 have posted nude photos of themselves. Percent of teens that sent sexually suggestive messages via text, email, or instant messaging. 39% of all teens. 37% of teen girls, 40% of teen boys. 48% of teens say that they have received an explicit message.
And I'll tell you
That's
what,
terrible.
these numbers are only going up.
They are
unless
yeah.
you intervene, Dad, in your children's life. You know, it's not, you can't say, not my kids.
Right.
You can't say that will never happen to us.
Every single school. So we have a youth department, and we're in a lot of schools. Every single school, they tell us, hey, we have got a problem with sexting. Girls and boys are sending naked pictures of each other. This is illegal. Not only is it immoral, not only is it demoralizing, not only is it causing your children to go off in a direction you don't want them to go, it is illegal. It is really important that your children understand this, because kids are getting charged with sex crimes for taking pictures of themselves and having child pornography on their phones, and the person getting it is getting the charge. It is really important that you talk to your kids and say, this is inappropriate under all circumstances. Not to your boyfriend, not to your girlfriend, not to anybody, not ever. And if somebody asks you, they are not your friend. You need to cut off that relationship.
So dads, this is where you step in. This is being what it means to be a father, what it means to be a dad. You know, we're not telling you to be your kids' friends. They don't need more friends. They need a dad who will step up and do the right thing.
And
that's what it means to be
protect them.
And protect them, you know, cover them. Be a TYRO dad. You know, so we hope you were deeply informed with today's show.
And so when we come back, we're going to tie it all up and give you some final pointers on what you can do from where you are to protect your kids. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Oh, I forgot TYRO freedom.
Yes. What'd you say?
Synchronized ending.
Yeah.
Well, I've been practicing in my mind.
I thought you were going to end it.
I almost did.
I know. I was like,
He
no!
said-
I was not gonna tell you we were saying like
I know, he's
the whole
ending that
show.
segment, not
Okay.
the whole show.
Yeah.
We have one more 3 minutes.
Yep. Whew, this is hard.
All right. Ready?
Ready?
Yep.
And action.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
And today we have been talking about the elephant in the room.
A super tough subject, and that is your children's exposure to pornography and sexting. And Dad, what you need to be doing about it. You've got to have the conversation. That was the number one. We promised you in this last segment we give you things you can do. Number one, have the conversation. If you're in a relationship at all with your children, I mean, if they come to see you, if they write you letters or you write them letters, you talk on the phone, broach the topic. Ask them, say, hey, I heard something on TV the other day and I just want to check in with you.
And we call this is a courageous conversation. Say that with me. Courageous conversation. This is one of them.
Right.
Right?
So number two.
Number two is after you ask, okay, have they ever done it? Right? Have they ever done it themselves? Listen, you got to ask. And hopefully that you can build that type of relationship with your children that they can be honest with you. Right? Because if they've done it, then you got to have a remedy. Say, okay, we can fix this.
So the number 3 is you make sure that you tell them, listen, it's really important to have filters and privacy protections on all your social media and on your phone. That's really, really important. And as part of having filters and privacy, make sure that they understand that if they get an inappropriate message, they need to immediately go to their caregiver or some adult. Otherwise, they can be held responsible for the images on their phone.
Yep.
It's criminal activity.
So there's also apps you can download, dads, when you get home, and you can have them put on the mobile digital tools that your child has, to where you can monitor if they go somewhere they're not supposed to go. You will get an alert.
Right.
To
Or
say,
you'll actually see all the texts, the Instagram, the Snapchat.
You can follow along with them.
You'll get it on your phone, and that way you can intervene right away. So we know you can't get that right now, but you can certainly talk to the caregiver of your children and tell them, listen, you need to go to childguard.com. You need to check this out and see about downloading this app, this application, I don't know what all it's called, so that you can make sure that our children are safe and protected.
Yep.
It is your job, Dad.
It is your job. And so when we talk about all this, we're going to wrap this up right now because I know we're running out of time. But we also have a site here at the Ridge Project that we created called TYRO Freedom. And it's a very dear friend of ours, and we're going to have him sometime in the future. We're going to have him come and be on our episode. His name is Dr. Randy Turner. And so Dr. Turner, this is called TYRO Freedom, and he's creating content to help men who, if you're addicted, if you're involved in this type of behavior, in pornography, here's a place where you can come and get help so that you can break free of that type of hold that may be on your life.
That bondage. That's right.
TYROfreedom.com.
And that's for you, Dad, and that will help you also be informed to help guide your children. So we hope that you learned something today that's going to help you become a better dad.
Yep. So thank you for allowing us to be on this journey with you, right? And so until next time, always remember
that
we are rooting for you.